So this is going to be a sort of advanced tour of the various things you can do with the software called Geogebra. Geogebra is a geometry tool and also actually an algebra graphing calculator as well, but we're going to look at it mainly as a geometry tool that you can use. It's software that we can use to do geometric constructions. You can find it at a website. It's geogebra.org, not .com. Anyways, we're going to go to Geogebra and we're going to do some stuff. First of all, a quick little tour here. We usually don't want to work in calculator mode. Usually we'll be in the geometry tool mode, and here's all the geometry tools. And over here, here's a little setting gear, and if we go in there, we can turn axes on and off and the grid on and off, and we can make things so that they snap to the grid, all kinds of fun little settings. And down here, if we ever get too far astray when we're doing our drawing, you can just press this button and it'll take you right back to the center and zoom things in a standard view mode. We can zoom in and we can zoom out. And again, if we zoom in and move, we can always hit that guy to go right back to normal zoom in the center. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and try to draw. First thing we're going to draw is a polygon. Now for you, you may see down here a little more link, and if you do, go ahead and click on it. And then you, when you do, you will see all kinds of tools, and one of them is the Polygon Tool. So we'll click that. And the Polygon Tool is, well, we can go ahead and draw any kind of polygon. It looks like a triangle here, but we can start drawing a triangle. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and draw a quadrilateral or any sided figure that you'd like. What we're going to do is we're going to take this third dot after we make it. We're going to go back to the first dot and click there, and then that finishes our polygon, in this case a triangle. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bisect this angle A. Now, there's a couple ways to refer to angle A. You could refer to it as angle BAC or CAB. We are going to, let's find the bisector. So to do this, we go to Construct. And one of the construct options is an angle bisector. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that guy, and then click on C, and then A, and then B. And now what I have is a line that is bisecting angle A. And just to verify that and see exactly what that means, we're going to go ahead and measure the angles. Oh, one extra thing I need to do is I need to put a dot here where this intersection is, so that we can have, you'll see in a second. So, to do that, we've got to find the intersection tool, which is, where is it? Here it is, right here, under points. Below this, next to the point, there's an intersection. It says select intersection or two objects. So I can either click right on this point where the two lines cross, or I can click the one line and then click the other line, and then it creates point D, which is the intersection of the two lines. And I'd like to remind you that in the real world, when two roads come together and there's a traffic light, we call that an intersection. So hopefully that'll help you to remember whether we're using the word intersect or not. In this case we are. Okay, so let's go ahead and measure these two angles. We're going to measure angle CAD, and that's why we needed point D. And we're going to measure angle BAD as well. Let's try it. So under measure, there's an angle measuring tool. So I'll click on that. And then I click on C, and then I click on A, and then I click on D. And we've got the measurement of this angle. So that's really cool. Now, sometimes what will happen is we'll get the wrong angle. Instead of measuring inside here, it'll measure outside here. So let me show you that so that you can anticipate that. I'm going to go ahead and hit the undo. And then I'm going to go and measure the angle again. But this time, instead of going CAD, I'm going to go DAC. And you can see that the measurement is now outside the angle instead of inside. And that's because normally what happens is when we measure an angle, we usually go counterclockwise around from the originating side to the terminating side. And so that's why when we started at DAC, we get the wrong angle. So let's fix that. We'll go back and, oh, another thing I just noticed is sometimes when I go to click undo, it takes a little while for it to take effect. Let's see how many times I have to click this guy. Come on. Oh dear. Okay, so it undid 18 things. I'm going to redo several things. Here we go. Let's put point D back there. And let's go ahead and measure angle C. A. D. There we go. Now we've got that measurement. And then let's go ahead and measure. We want D, A, B. Okay, good, and I got that one right. And then we'll go up and we'll choose the pointer tool and we'll spread these out a little bit. Here's the angle over here, and here's the angle over here. And I just want to point out that we said we were going to do an angle bisector. An angle bisector means cut an angle in two. And this is kind of one way of proving that, yeah, sure enough, if I cut angle B, A, C into two, I get two equal angles as a result. And another thing that's really kind of cool about Geogebra is that if I click on point B and drag it around, you can see that no matter what the triangle looks like, Geogebra is holding fast to the idea that line AD should be an angle bisector, that it will split BAC exactly in two. We can see that the whole time. So that's kind of a neat trick. All right, while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and we are going to do a couple more angle bisectors just because it's fun. So let's do it real quick. So let's find the angle bisector again. Here it is. And this time I'm going to do A, B, C. And then I'm going to do A, C, B. And I want you to notice I didn't have to keep going back and reselecting the bisector tool. Once I said angle bisector, as long as I keep using it for angle bisecting, it just stays the angle bisector tool. Now we do want to mark off a few more of the intersections, so we'll go back here to points and we'll find the intersection tool, and I'll mark an intersection point here and here and here. And now we go, that G looks a little funky. I don't think I really hit the intersection there. I'm going to go undo that one. Let's try that again. Oh, well, maybe I'm getting it, maybe I'm not. Just to be safe, I'm going to click on this line, and then I'm going to click on this line. Oh, that makes me feel better. Okay, and then we'll also get the very center. And by the way, this guy has a special name. It's called the in-center. We'll look at other kinds of centers that you can have in triangles, but this one's called the in-center. And that's about all that I wanted to do with this particular drawing. I wanted to go through the angle bisector tool. I wanted to show you how to do intersections, and I wanted to show you how to measure angles. So, and ultimately we were able to construct the center of this triangle. And again, if we grab any point, we drag it around. Well, let me go back to the pointer tool. If we drag any point, we can see that everything changes. So it's a really neat way to do experiments with geometry and to test out your own theories, and certainly to test real theorems and postulates.